What's up, guys? So I got a question on TikTok this morning, and I wasn't planning on making a YouTube video today, but here we are because I got that question on TikTok, and I figured that would be a very good topic for a YouTube video. So if you guys aren't following me on TikTok, by the way, it's at RECESSION. I'm making 3, 4, 5 little videos on TikTok every single day, so make sure you guys go follow me there. And the question went a little bit like this: where can we hide during these times? And by these times, that person was talking about the bear market we're living in, the inflationary times we're living in, the recession that we're most likely already in. Where can we put our money and hide out as you know, this storm is getting worse, essentially, is what that question asks. So I want to break that down in this video. If you all find value, hit that like button. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and let's just get right into it. So the idea here is, okay, we're in a recession. There's a bear market. Inflation's crazy, right? Where can we hide? So one thing you could do, and we're gonna go over a bunch of different things you could do here. One thing you could do is try and chase energy, healthcare, or any other consumer defensive names. We'll talk about some of these here in a second that have been doing very well, because we all know the markets in general, the S&P, the Dow, the NASDAQ, the Russell, they're getting beaten down a lot, and they have been over the past couple of months. But that doesn't mean all stocks out there are getting beaten down, right? And like I said, we're in inflationary times right now, and what's been going up? Crude oil. Crude oil has been going up like crazy, and thus that's been, really, pushing up these energy stocks, right? We all kind of know this at this point. So one thing you could do is chase the performance here in energy stocks, whether it's ExxonMobil. And by the way, I'm not telling you what to buy. I'm just breaking down my thoughts on the topic here, guys. And again, I want to know your thoughts in the comments. You could buy something like an ExxonMobil, maybe an Occidental Petroleum if you want a little bit more risk there, maybe something like a CVX. And notice how all of these are doing very well. They're pretty much at 52-week highs, and many of these are at multi-year highs. Many of these energy stocks are, pretty much all of them. You could also look at something like an XLE, which is an energy ETF that I personally own. But to be completely honest with you guys, and you can see the same thing with healthcare, right? AbbVie's been crushing it. Now it's come down a little bit, but overall it's outperforming J&J, UNH. But the truth is, in my opinion, chasing these stocks right now, especially energy, healthcare is at least pulled back a little bit with, AbbVie, J&J, and UNH. But these energy stocks have barely pulled back, and they're up a lot over the past year, 2 years. So for me, trying to chase this would be a little bit too risky, right? And if you guys are my Patreon, and if you guys have been watching my videos here on YouTube, I mention it sometimes, you know that I've been in XLE since $50, $60 roughly, and now we're at $90, right? So I'm actually considering trimming some if this ends up going mid-high 90s again into the hundreds, which is possible. I'm considering trimming some XLE, right? And if I wasn't in it already, I probably would not be buying it here unless it was a day trade or maybe some short-term type of trade. So you could chase, like I said, energy, healthcare, but realize these have ran up a lot and the boat might have already sailed, right? It might be too late to get into these. But if you are going to chase them, what I advise you to do, or what I recommend you to do, I'm not telling you what to do exactly, but what I recommend you to do is set a stop loss. Whether it's a 3%, 5% stop loss, set a level that you would want to get out of all your shares at, or sell half of your position or whatever, because the last thing you want to do is buy energy here, then all of a sudden it collapses, which probably won't happen with the way things are looking here, like literally in the next couple of days, weeks, probably won't happen, but never say never. The last thing you want to do is lose a lot of money. So if you are to chase these, which I'm not telling you what to do, you could do it, and that could be a place to hide out in these inflationary time periods. And I would set a stop loss. That's just my recommendation. Other stocks that you could hide out in that have been doing pretty well, Procter & Gamble, even though this one is down a little bit, or more than a little bit. This one is down about 13%, but still, it's holding up decently compared to the market, and it pays a nice dividend And, it is one of those consumer defensive companies. Coca-Cola, ticker symbol KO, is another one. This one's down about 8-9% in the past couple of weeks. It also pays a dividend. It's been outperforming. Campbell's Soup, which I believe they just reported earnings, and they did very well with their earnings. They've been crushing it. They're outperforming the market. So these are places you could hide out, but understand the risks involved. You could also put your money in short-term bonds and maybe get a little 1%, 2%, 2.5% return, depending on what bonds you're looking at. And me personally, guys, I'm not a big fan of bonds, but you can do this. If you think cash is trash, you want to hide out and protect your money, which, newsflash, guys, bonds, you're still technically losing money to inflation. But the thing is, you have to ask yourself, okay, is the amount I'm going to lose to inflation, is that more? Is that less than what I would lose potentially in the stock market? You have to, weigh your options here. So, yeah, maybe short-term bonds are good. You're going to lose a little bit to inflation, but it might be a better place to hide out than, let's say, the S&P 500 or the NASDAQ, considering those could go down even more, right? So sometimes, yes, if you have cash or bonds, you're going to lose to inflation, but you might do better than the stock market. That could fall another 20%, if that makes any sense, right? You could also put your money in gold and silver, guys, which I am a proponent of that. I do have some money in gold. I don't own any silver, but gold is a metal that I do own. And if you look at the performance of gold over the past couple of months, really the past year, it's flat, which is great. It's flat, slightly up, barely, or actually more. It's more flat, pretty much. And that's good, considering in the past year, if you guys take a look at Triple Q, it's down a lot. SPY's down a lot in the past year. And I mean, not a lot, but it's down a good chunk. So, yeah, if you had money in gold, you would be pretty much doing pretty well. You'd be, what am I trying to say here? I got a call, and it's throwing my train of thought off. You'd be outperforming if you had money in gold as opposed to the S&P in just the past year, right? Don't get it misconstrued, guys. Long term, obviously, the S&P is better, but in the past year, and if you think things are going to get worse in the next 6, 12, 18 months, having money in gold, you might be able to beat inflation, or maybe not beat inflation, but beat the S&P, the NASDAQ, right? So gold and silver, maybe ETFs, but I think ETFs are a little bit too risky because, like I said a second ago, we might end up going even lower on SPY, on Triple Q. You might have been better off buying something like or getting in bonds, or maybe just having cash as opposed to buying ETFs. So I'm not the biggest fan of ETFs to hide out in terms of in a recession, because the markets will probably get hit even more. And the thing worth mentioning is, a lot of the time, when we're in a recession, the stock market doesn't bottom at the exact end of the recession, right? Typically, the markets bottom before the recession is even over. Sometimes it really just depends, right? Go back and look at recessions and charts and all that good stuff. So in my opinion, guys, the best place, seriously, to just hide out right now is cash. I'm just going to be honest. It's cash. Whether it's in a savings account, which I wouldn't recommend that, a traditional savings account. I would say high-yield savings account is the best place to put your money, right? If you put your money in a high-yield savings account, 0.7, 0.8%, whatever it may be, you're going to lose to inflation, but you have the ability, you have liquidity, the ability to have options, right? Oh, if the markets dump, you could buy some stocks at lower prices. Oh, if you want to buy a real estate deal, you have cash, boom, you can go, you have the flexibility to do that. So if you want to hide out, and I'm not saying sell everything and hide out. That's not the point of this, right? I think long-term, the markets will do very well. But in the short term, if you want to have maybe an elevated safety position, I think the best place to hide out is cash. Not bonds, not gold, silver. Those are good to protect purchasing power, I guess, sure, but they're not as liquid as cash, let's be honest. So having cash, in my opinion, in a high-yield savings account is the best way to go. And don't look at Ray Dalio and be like, oh, he says cash is trash, right? Because listen, Ray Dalio and everybody watching this video, including myself, right? It's he's in a way different situation than we are in, right? He's a billionaire. I mean, he has so much cash that he doesn't know what to do with it. So he's putting it back into his businesses, stocks. That's why he's saying cash is trash. But if you're a person, a regular person that it maybe is not a millionaire, a billionaire, having that cash cushion is different for somebody that doesn't have a huge net worth compared to somebody that has a massive net worth and they have dividend stocks, spitting cash that to the millions and billions. It's way different, right? So keep that in mind. So yeah, cash, I don't think it's trash. I think it's the best place to hide out during these time periods. And I'd love to know your thoughts. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I figured that was a video or a topic that I wanted to bring over here on YouTube. And again, make sure to go follow me over there on TikTok at StasserFez. So yeah, that's it. Hit the like button, subscribe, drop me a comment, join my Patreon, get your 5 stocks from Moomoo and your 6 free stocks from Webull. The details are linked down below. And with that being said, cheers, guys. I'll catch you in the next video. Peace out.